Hello, my friends. Welcome to my home studio in the beautiful Catskill Mountains in upstate New York. I am John Morrell. You know that, though. And I'm doing another tag video. Yes, 2 tags in a row. I love it. Tyler from Simply Fragrances hooked me up with another tag video. This tag is 10 designer fragrances that you can't live without. So I guess that's not the tag. The tag is 10 designer fragrances for life. But I did it so 10 designer fragrances I couldn't live without, which wasn't that easy. But these are, if I lost my collection, the 10 designer fragrances I would have to buy back immediately. So again, 10 designer fragrances for life. Check it out.
John Morrell, Fragrance Review. Here comes with the swag. Fresh and dope like heroin soap. That man's got
So these are fragrances that I feel like I just can't live without. And I actually had a tough time for a couple of reasons. First off, I've really become more obsessed, let's say, with indie fragrances and certain fragrance lines I guess you consider niche. So yeah, I mean, so at first I thought, geez, are there 10 designer fragrances I just can't live without? Are there? And I was like, maybe I'll just do 5. But then it turns out as I'm going through my collection, I'm like, oh, no, I have to have that. So let's just get to it. I'm going to try to make this kind of quick because I've talked about many of these, if not all of them. Number 1 on my list is one of my all-time greats. I think this is one of my favorite fragrances of all time, regardless whether it be designer, niche, indie, doesn't matter. It's one of my top compliment getters of all time. I think I did my first ever video on this channel about this fragrance, and it is the original Black Orchid EDP by Tom Ford. The original, the OG. It's hard to see in this. This is just a masterpiece. This is a masterpiece, in my opinion. It's, Mexican chocolate truffle, black currant, ylang ylang. The jasmine, the lotus. I mean, it's so unisex, but I think if you're a confident male and you wear this, I get so many compliments. Every time I wear it, I get compliment. And I love it. I just love it. It's so unique. I don't think anything has been created out there like this since. This is something where if you smell Black Orchid, you know it's Black Orchid. I don't think anyone's duplicated it, which is interesting because usually there's so many fragrances that smell in a similar way. Now, this is one that it doesn't. I mean, this is just something. So, number 1, Black Orchid by Tom Ford. And in no particular order. Let me just say that. These are in no particular order. Number 1, though, is Black Orchid by Tom Ford. I'm going to get the obvious ones out of the way because people who watch my channel, my OGs on the channel here especially, know some of the fragrances that I am going to talk about. I don't think it's a surprise. And so let's just get to those. And so, number 2, next one. Versace Signature. You guys know how much I love this. It's to me, this is the king of spring. I know everyone talks about Green Irish Tweed being the king of spring. For me, I should say, this is the king of spring. I think you wear it. I do actually, because I love it so much, wear it all year. But to me, it's a spring, summer fragrance. But I do wear it all year, especially inside, in a temperature-controlled environment. I live in the Catskill Mountains, and right now, we're lucky right now, it's 30. It was 9 yesterday, so it gets chilly here. But this fragrance, I just love it. So yeah, number 2 is Versace Signature. I think it's a necessity. It really is. Obvious one for me, and this is in my Hall of Fame, and I think all of these could be, but again, if I was doing my Hall of Fame, well, it depends how many fragrances I'm allowed to have in my Hall of Fame, but this, of course, would be in there. And you all know I'm going to do it, and it's Dark Rebel by John Varvatos. It's just one of my favorites of all time. I've talked a lot about this, so should I get into it? But I love the tobacco and the leather, the sugar, the rum. It's just outstanding. So and it's discontinued, not easy to find at this point. I was just looking, hey, maybe I'll get a backup bottle because I gave my backup bottle away as a present to someone for Christmas because I thought that was a cool present and he really liked it because you can't really get it for under $100 right now, even on eBay. So it's going to go even, this is going to get expensive. So I love this. It's awesome. If you can pick it up for around $100 right now, I would do that because it's going to go crazy. But yeah, Dark Rebel by John Varvatos. On my list is a no-brainer. I think probably most people are going to put this on their list, I would think, as far as, again, designer fragrances, top, whatever, designer fragrances for life. 10 designer fragrances for life. This has to be on most people's list, I imagine. And it's Dolce & Gabbana, the one EDP. I mean, this is just likable. Everybody likes it, including my wife, including me. I just think it's mass appealing, even to the person wearing it. And again, that's important. You have to love it. And I think everyone loves this. The DNA on this is great. So again, the one EDP. Fragrance I've had for a while, and I've been kind of conserving it because it's a little pricey, but not that bad. But it's something that I absolutely love, and it's Grey Vetiver. Okay, Grey Vetiver by Tom Ford, and it's the EDP. I like the EDP a lot better. It lasts a long time, projects like a beast, and if you don't know this fragrance, the top notes are grapefruit, orange blossom, sage. Middle notes nutmeg, orris root, pimento. Base notes vetiver, woodsy notes, oak moss, and amber. Now, as you can see, I'm almost out of this, and so it's not going to be too long before I have to buy another bottle. But I do believe this is a year-round fragrance for sure, because of the people seem to gravitate towards fall as far as vetiver goes, maybe some winter in my opinion, but I actually believe this is a warm weather fragrance. I just love it. It's a bright and airy, and it's a brighter vetiver. So for me, this is a warm weather fragrance. You can't wear it all year, but I reserve it for the warm weather just because I just love it so much. Mostly spring, because it projects so much. It's a bit like a beast and a little heavy for the summer maybe, but I love it so much. I've worn it in the summer, and I think it works well. I think you can wear this anytime. So Grey Vetiver by Tom Ford is my fifth fragrance. Fifth. There you go. Fragrance is something I like better than the original. When I say that, this is inspired by Creed Aventus, so I'm going to talk about it here. I actually like this better. This smells like Creed Aventus cologne, which is my preference on the Aventus line. This lasts longer than the current formulations of Aventus on me. It really does. I put this on the other day, and it was 9-10 hours on my skin. Doing very well, and it projects really well on me. I love this, and it's Montblanc Explorer. I know, I think it was overhyped, and I think some people loved it for sure, but then I think some people didn't love it so much because of the overhype of it, right? But to me, this is a wonderful fragrance, and to me, it's better than the current formulations of Creed Aventus. So I love this. It's something I would absolutely buy right away if someone took all my fragrances, someone robbed me. I don't know why that would come to mind, by the way. Maybe I just gave them away. But there you go. That was number 6, right? Was that 6 or 7? That was 7. Was that 7? I think it was. All right. Next fragrance I'm going to talk about is something that my wife absolutely loves. I also love it. To me, it's unique. I don't have anything that smells quite like it in my collection. And I do think it's one of my top 10 fragrances for life, designer-wise, for sure. And it's Black Bold by Kenneth Cole. It's very, very natural smelling. It doesn't smell synthetic at all. It smells, to me, it reminds me, not the smell, but the way I talked about Fico d'Amalfi by Acqua di Parma, right? Where I said, it smells like, when you wear it, it smells like the environment, right? It smells like, that's what this is, very green. There is some orange on the top, mandarin orange on the top, but it's very green. There's ginger, there's basil, there's nutmeg, and there's violet leaf, lotus, and then there's woody notes and some incense as it dries down. And this isn't all day. It's an EDP from Kenneth Cole. It's the only Kenneth Cole that I kept. I had some other ones. Like I had Kenneth Cole Black, and it was all right. It was cool, but I didn't love it. This I love, and man, it is spring. I'm telling you, it's spring in a bottle. It really is spring in a bottle. So my wife loves this. I love it too. I wore it the other day just to kind of see how it would do in the cold, and it did all right. It did all right because but it's definitely spring, right? It's a spring fragrance. So check it out. Kenneth Cole Black Bold at number 7. The 8th spot for, again, designer fragrances, 10 designer fragrances for life. This is one that I kind of picked at the last second. I was going through them, and I said, I start crossing things out, thinking I could do without this, I could do without this. And then I said, you know what? This is one I would absolutely buy again because it is a beach fragrance. And to me, it's one of the best ever made, no matter how many flankers come out. I think Dolce Gabbana Light Blue Oh Intense, which I guess is a flanker from Light Blue, right? But Light Blue Oh Intense is just so good. It's salty. It smells like the ocean, and it's long lasting, projects really well. So yeah, I would have to have this. That's why I picked it. Again, it's not something. It's not necessarily the ones where I go, yeah, this is something I think about. This is something I wear all the time. You can't wear this all the time. This is absolutely a warm weather fragrance, a beach fragrance. So as far as designer wise, this would be the one. If I had to go designer versus niche, I'd probably go Fico d'Amalfi, right? I just love that one. Maybe a little more than this, but as far as designer goes, this is the beach fragrance. So Dolce Gabbana Light Blue Oh Intense. Number 9, I went with a fragrance I do wear all the time. I think it's an all-year fragrance. I think it's awesome. It lasts all day, even though it's an EDT. It's something I wear all the time because it's literally my favorite gym scent of all time, whether it be at the gym or when I get out of the gym, take a shower. And we're talking about Havas. This is just killer, and it's cheap. I mean, it's like $45, and it's all day. All day when you put this on. And it projects like a monster, and it lasts a long time. So Havas, and I just talked about this recently, so I'm not going to get way into the notes, but it's wonderful. Last designer fragrance in the 10 designer fragrances for life is something I picked up at retail, which you have to most of the time. It's a Chanel fragrance, and I love it as much as the day I got it, and I would pay retail again, and it's Allure Homme Sport Oak Trim. I love this almond fragrance. It's still one of the best. I mean, I've really kind of fallen in love with almond fragrances, really. And it's all stemmed from this. I mean, I think this is like my first real almond fragrance. And there's a little mint in this, of course. And this is just an awesome fragrance. I think I think you can wear it upscale. I think you can wear it with a suit on. I think you can wear it dressed down. I think you can wear it to the gym. I think you can wear it after the gym. I mean, this is just a Swiss Army knife. And everyone's going to think you smell good. And including you. You will love this. If you don't have it, you should, but you will pay retail. You're just going to pay retail. Because even when discounters get a hold of Chanel fragrances, sometimes they're more expensive than you get them at like Macy's. So, but I love this fragrance. I will always, always have it. So there you go. My 10 fragrances, my 10 designer fragrances for life. I want to thank Tyler very much for tagging me in this. And again, I just don't tag people anymore because no one does. Even when they tell, and by the way, I always ask first. I ask first, and someone will say, yeah, tag me, and then I tag them, they don't do it. So, and that's cool. I know people are busy, but I'm not going to bother tagging people because I'm like looking for the video all the time, and they don't do it. But I want to thank everybody very much for watching again. Thank you, Tyler, and we out.
John Morrell, Fragrance Review. Here comes with the swag. Fresh and dope like heroin soap. That man's got swag.